We've got two cases called now, 23 CR 1222, 23 CR 951. Both the state of Texas versus Jeremy Dixon. Mr. Dixon? Yeah. Present with your attorney, Mr. Vasquez, and the state's attorney.
Two cases, one defendant, and wait, did the judge just say murder? Buckle up, this hearing is about to get intense.
All right, the court has reviewed these files and recalls these cases. Go ahead, Mr. Vasquez.
Your Honor, it's a $1 million bond on murder is the one most concerned with, and would ask for the bond to be lowered to $150,000, giving Mr. Dixon a chance to bond out. I've spoken with family members, but none of them are here to testify. And I can pool the resources and come up with enough money to sign a contract to give to Mr. Dixon out. They've spoken to some bond, and he could get out and work.
That bond drop from $1 million to $150,000 is huge. But here's the kicker. The defense hasn't even shown financial proof yet. Is this a calculated risk or just courtroom sympathy?
Until this trial date, and maybe hire a lawyer of his own choosing.
How would that work? Well, you hadn't hired one yet, right?
No, sir.
Well, he says he has zero income. Well, this was back on October 23 when he was arrested about 2 months after.
The judge hits the brakes. If you claimed zero income while in jail, how do you suddenly plan to hire a lawyer? Now, this is where credibility and possibly bond hangs in the balance.
The murder case was filed, and he claimed zero income. That's my writing. I wrote it. Zero income according to the defendant. That was on what's changed.
Your Honor.
Wait a second. Yeah. What's changed? You know? I mean, he's been in jail. So how can he hire somebody if he has zero income?
Well, Judge, I don't want to misrepresent anything to the court.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
thinking, or it's been indicated to me that the family members will try and raise him.
What's stopping them from doing that right now?
I don't know.
What else do you want to add? Because I've got some things I'll put on the record.
That's all I have.
Anything from the state?
Just that the nature of these two cases, that the timeline in which they occurred, makes it very clear to me that the bond is sufficient and should not be lowered.
Oh, anything you want to say?
Yes, at the time, October 2nd,
Of what year?
23. I was already incarcerated August 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I was arrested August 6th when I lost my job because of my arrest.
Have you been in custody ever since?
Ever since.
Yeah. Okay. So where would your income come from if you were released?
Work.
What work? What work do you have?
Well, my family has a mechanic shop.
Oh, okay. Are you good at
Yes, sir.
it? Okay. Well, how much do you get? How much do you get paid? How long did you work with them?
Well, all my life.
All your life? Oh, okay. And you are right now what? 35. Okay. And you've been working for them. And you've made a good income?
Yes, sir.
Since how long were you working for? Like when you turned 18 or something?
Yeah.
And so about 16 or 17 years? Okay. So how much is it that you made?
I go by commission.
Sir?
You go by commission.
Oh,
50%
okay, whatever. How much income did you have? Annually, about?
Oh, 50,000 a year.
50,000 a year?
60.
That's pretty good. I want you to send me all your income tax returns so that I can verify that. And those are on file. get them to me so I can look at them, okay?
I haven't filed taxes since 2021.
Get the ones you had before. Get all the tax returns that you have filed. You can get those from the IRS, copies of them. You ought to have copies.
Yeah.
Get
And
those. Get those so I can verify that you really had an income like that.
Yeah, and I work side jobs too.
That should be on your income tax return.
Yeah, it's all on them.
Good.
Let's recap. Assault with a car on July 2nd. Then a murder charge just a month later. 2 violent felonies back to back. The timeline isn't just troubling nits, potentially damning.
Then get them to me. Get copies to me. Do you understand?
I don't.
That's the first thing. The next thing is the record's going to show a couple of things. Number one, this 23 CR 951 is the first event. And this alleges that on July 2nd, 2023, you were charged with that you committed aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a second-degree felony, with the use of a deadly weapon, namely an automobile. And that was indicted, looks like 3 weeks or so after the event. The grand jury got on that pretty quickly. When were you arrested on that case? Do you remember?
It wasn't.
You never were?
Never.
There was a warrant issued on that day, a capias for you.
Well, I was told the warrant was issued August 9th after I was already arrested.
It was issued the day it was handed up by the grand jury on July 26th.
And I was also told that that indictment was about hearsay and allegations.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah, but the grand jury indicted you. That's all that's important. The grand jury indicted you. They have evidence, probable cause you committed a crime, period. That's the way indictments work. It's not a debate on what the evidence was, but they handed it up. You're going to interrupt me?
So,
No, yeah. You're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. The worst thing is to be rude. You get the chance to speak, but don't interrupt me. It seems like that's what you do, is kind of control the environment you're in. We all have a fair opportunity. Don't step on me when I'm speaking. She has to take down everything that's said. When we both speak over each other, she can't do it. When she can't do that job, the Court of Criminal Appeals, the highest court, gets upset with somebody. Because they say, we want to review what goes on in the courtrooms. But when everybody's speaking over each other, the court reporter can't do her job. So someone gets in trouble. It's going to be you, not me. Do you understand? Don't speak over me. That's what we learned that in first grade. Don't interrupt. You'll get a fair chance to be heard. Okay, so we have an indictment and a warrant pending on July 2nd of 2023. Then on August 6th of 2023, what's that? A month, a little over a month later, it is alleged you committed the first-degree felony of murder. Then a warrant comes out on that because that's indicted on August 23rd. So they indicted you about 2 weeks after this. So there are 2 warrants. What was the date he was arrested?
Go ahead.
And each of these involve.
Day of the murder, Judge.
Okay. Each of these allege you committed violent crimes and used a deadly weapon.
Let's recap. Assault with a car on July 2nd. Then a murder charge just a month later. 2 violent felonies back to back. The timeline isn't just troubling nits, potentially damning.
In each case. So those work against you. When it's an aggravated crime, when there's 2 aggravated crimes, you get double trouble. So what are his bonds on each of these?
50,000. Yes, no. 1 million on the murder.
And this first aggravated assault, it was alleged that you drove over a human with your automobile, and they were injured because of that. The other motive, you used a firearm in the killing of another human being. Okay. The other seven. The case criminal history here. About criminal history, Mr. Vasquez, anything you want to comment on? Because that's one of the factors in setting a bond is the circumstances of the crime, and in this case, 2 violent crimes committed within a few weeks of each other.
This is brutal. The judge lays it out. One victim allegedly run over the other murdered, and if both cases hold, the prosecution will build a narrative of escalating violence.
And even aggravating offenses that are from an aggravated assault next to a murder. The court is reviewing criminal history data. And what do y'all want? Anything you want to say? Because it's 4. Well, the criminal history is 4. Looks like the defendant was placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation on 2 cases in 2010, illegal possession of controlled substance and a theft.
That's correct, Judge.
Did he satisfactorily serve those probations?
As far as we know.
Then in 2013, he was convicted of failing to identify. That's a misdemeanor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And then also convicted in 2017 for eluding or fleeing a police officer. What happened on those 2 cases, please, on the controlled substance and the theft? There's F as in Frank 98069 and F as in Frank 10-9188. He was placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation on August 23rd of 2010. Did you serve those out satisfactorily? How long were those deferred? How long was the deferred? Does it show?
I believe it was 5 years.